Everyone is talking about who won at the Oscars last night. Nobody is talking about the moments that actually broke the internet. The lines Conan delivered that had the entire Dolby Theater losing it. The speech that nobody saw coming. And the one result that is going to be debated in Hollywood for the next 12 months. And when I show you everything, all of it, in order, ranked from incredible all the way up to absolutely unhinged, you are going to want to rewatch the whole ceremony. Give me the next 12 minutes. I promise you will not regret it. Here is what we are covering. I am ranking every single best moment from the 2026 Oscars, starting from number 10 and counting down to the number 1 moment of the whole night. I am breaking down Conan's funniest lines from the monologue because he outdid himself this year. I am getting into the sinners versus one battle after another battle that had Hollywood completely divided. And I am giving you my honest hot takes on the wins, the snubs, and the moments that are going to live in Oscars history forever. Let's get into it. All right, so before we get to the rankings, I need to set the scene for you, because the energy going into last night's ceremony was genuinely unlike anything we have seen at the Oscars in years. We had 2 Warner Brothers films going head-to-head in the most competitive Best Picture race of the decade. Ryan Coogler's Sinners, a horror musical set in Jim Crow-era Mississippi that somehow became the most nominated film in Oscar history with 16 nominations, breaking the record held by All About Eve, Titanic, and La La Land. And Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another, with 13 nominations, and basically every single precursor award under the sun. These 2 films were at each other's throats all season, and nobody, and I mean nobody, could tell you with confidence which one was going to win last night. And then, on top of all of that, you had one of the most stacked and most unpredictable acting lineup in years. Michael B. Jordan going for his first Oscar, playing twins in Sinners, Timothée Chalamet as a ping-pong prodigy in Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio lurking in the shadows with One Battle, Jessie Buckley as the favorite for Best Actress in Hamnet, Kate Hudson earning her first Oscar nomination in 25 years, and Amy Madigan playing a parasitic witch in Weapons, with 14 minutes of screen time that had every single voter reportedly obsessed. And I haven't even gotten to the part that broke the internet yet. Conan O'Brien showed up to host this ceremony for the 2nd year in a row, wearing confidence like it was a designer suit. And here's the thing about Conan at the Oscars. Last year, he did a 15-minute monologue and came out of the back of Demi Moore in a spoof of The Substance, and ended the whole thing with a musical number called I Won't Waste Time. He set the bar impossibly high for himself. And then, he somehow cleared it. He had been testing material at clubs around Los Angeles for weeks before the show. He told The New Yorker he didn't want anyone to slap him, a reference to the Will Smith moment. But then he said what he really wanted was a streaker. And then, and this is the part that everyone was quoting this morning, he said he wanted a streaker to slap him because that would satisfy so many of his dormant Catholic hang-ups. Which is genuinely one of the funniest Oscars-related quotes I have ever read. And the fact that he said it in a press interview before the show tells you exactly what kind of energy he walked onto that stage with. Now, I need you to focus because this part changes everything we thought we knew about how different this ceremony felt from the years before it. The Academy made a very deliberate choice this year to lean into what they called big cultural moments. The theme of the entire ceremony was humanity. The stage was redesigned from scratch with trees and organic forms and moving architectural layers and what the production team described as beautiful light cast by trees. Which sounds insane on paper and looked genuinely stunning on screen. And then the musical performances. The Sinners performance with Miles Caton and Raphael Sadiq was not just a song performance. It was a full cinematic tribute with ballet dancer Misty Copeland, musicians including Brittany Howard and Shabuzi, and Buddy Guy. all on stage together, celebrating Black music and Black cinema and the cultural weight of what Ryan Coogler made. And the K-pop Demon Hunters performance for the song Golden was completely unhinged in the best possible way, and the internet has not recovered from it yet. I know. But wait, there is one more thing. This was also the first year that Best Casting was presented as an official Oscar category. The very first time in the 98-year history of this show that casting directors were recognized competitively. And that is actually a much bigger deal than people are treating it as. Casting directors are the people who see thousands of auditions and make the calls that determine whether a movie works or not. And for the first time ever, one of them got to walk up to that stage and hold that statue. That moment was quiet, but it was historic. All right, let us get into the rankings because this is what you are here for. Starting at number 10 and counting down. Number 10, the In Memoriam segment. Every year, this segment either hits or it does not. This year, it hit. Robert Redford, Diane Keaton, Rob Reiner. The industry lost some actual legends in the past year, and the ceremony honored them with genuine weight and not as an afterthought. The audience was completely silent, and that silence said everything. Number 9. Amelia de Moldenberg on the red carpet. She is in her third year as the official Oscars social media correspondent. Her deadpan interview style has created viral moments every single year she has been there. This year, she showed up and delivered again, and the clips were everywhere within 20 minutes of airing. She is genuinely one of the most watchable people on any red carpet anywhere, and the Academy made a smart call bringing her back. Number 8. Delroy Lindo getting his first Oscar nomination at 73 years old. He said in the lead-up to the ceremony that the best part of the whole process was that people were so genuinely happy for him, that it was not an ego thing. It had everything to do with affirmation. And that line from a man who has been doing brilliant work in Hollywood for decades landed like a gut punch in the best possible way. Number 7. The Kate Hudson Surprise Factor. This woman has not been nominated for an Oscar in 25 years. She played Claire Sardina in Song Sung Blue, a woman who performs in a Neil Diamond cover band, and she described the role as giving her the comedy and the love story and the grief and the life force being taken out of her all at once. And she showed up to that ceremony knowing she probably was not going to win, and she was completely radiant and present the entire night. That is a pro. Number 6. The political undercurrent of the whole evening. Several stars and filmmakers had already been wearing Ice Out pins at other award shows this season. The question going into last night was whether anyone was going to say something from the stage, and Conan himself addressed it at the press conference beforehand, saying his job is always to walk a very thin line between entertaining people and acknowledging some of the realities. And the way the show handled that balance throughout the night was actually one of the most thoughtful things the Oscars has done in years. Okay, I saved the best part for right now, and I need your full attention. Number 5, the Best Actor race and what it meant. Michael B. Jordan playing twins, both of them, Smoke and Stack, in a vampire horror musical set in Jim Crow-era Mississippi that broke every Oscar record in history just by getting nominated. Jordan told E! News before the ceremony that those two characters are going to live with him for the rest of his life. And the fact that Hollywood looked at a horror film and said, "This is the most nominated movie we have ever seen in this building," is genuinely one of the most meaningful things the Academy has done in a generation. Because it was not just about the movie. It was about Ryan Coogler and the 10 Black individuals nominated for a single film, another record, and what that says about where this industry is right now. Number 4. Jessie Buckley and the Best Actress result. She was the favorite going in. She had been collecting every precursor award since Hamnet premiered at Toronto in September. She plays Anne, the mother in Shakespeare's story, and the performance has been called career-defining by basically every critic who saw it. And the moment they announced her name, the reaction in the room was this wave of warmth that you do not always get at the Oscars. People were genuinely happy. Not politely happy, actually happy. And that energy is rare, and when it happens, it is one of the best things about this show. Number 3. The Sinners performance. I already described the lineup, but I need you to understand what it actually felt like watching it. Miles Caton is 20 years old. He is standing on the biggest stage in the film industry, singing a song from a movie that just made Oscar history. And behind him is this constellation of Black musical talent that stretches from Bobby Rush, who is in his 90s, to Shaboozey, who had the biggest song in country music last year. And they were all there together. And the audience was on their feet. And Ryan Coogler was in the front row, and the camera found him, and he was crying. And honestly, the whole thing just reminded you why movies matter. Number 2. Conan's best line of the night. He had been testing material for weeks, and the one that landed hardest, the one that social media has been quoting non-stop since last night, was his opening joke about the Oscars itself. He described the show as a living organism, for better or worse, and said his inspiration this year was Johnny Carson. Not the edginess of Carson, but the warmth. The sense that this person on stage actually wants you to have a good time and will do whatever it takes to make that happen. And then he immediately undercut the sincerity with a joke so specific and so perfectly timed that the room went from warm to completely losing it in about 4 seconds. That transition is the hardest thing to do in live television, and Conan made it look effortless. And the number 1 moment of the entire 2026 Oscars, the Best Picture announcement. Because this race was so close, so genuinely unpredictable, that even the people sitting in that room did not know what was going to happen until the envelope was open. One battle after another had the precursors and the critics and the Guild Awards. Sinners had the record nominations and the SAG ensemble and the cultural momentum and 16 pieces of gold that Hollywood had never handed to a single film before. And when that name was read out loud, the reaction was not a polite standing ovation. It was chaos. It was the kind of moment that makes you remember why people still watch this show every single year. Whatever happened in that room last night was real, and you felt it through the screen. My honest final take on the 2026 Oscars. Conan delivered. The show delivered. Ryan Coogler delivered. The whole night was a reminder that when Hollywood is at its best, it is not just a self-congratulatory industry party. It is a room full of people who genuinely love making things and love watching things. And sometimes, those two groups of people get together on a Sunday night and make something that feels actually worth watching. Tell me in the comments, am I wrong or am I right? What was your number 1 moment of the whole night? Drop it below because I want to see where everyone landed, and I have a feeling this is going to be one of the most active comment sections we have had all year. All right, let us wrap it up. 10 incredible moments, 1 historic Best Picture race, a host who showed up and proved he belongs on that stage 2 years in a row, and a ceremony that felt, for the first time in a while, like it actually meant something. I am doing a full deep dive on the Sinners Oscar sweep and what it means for Black cinema and the horror genre later this week. Make sure you are subscribed and the notification bell is on so you do not miss it. If this video gave you the full breakdown you needed today, hit the like button on the way out. I will see you next time.